Just as it has always been, when our memories of the ancient world fade into twilight, a new era dawns to fill the void, an unfamiliar path with a pulse of its own, a tempo not dictated by the labor of men, but accelerated by the rhythm of machines, launching the world into an age of bold innovation. From this cauldron of steel and sweat, a vision of prosperity emerged.
The game I've chosen, the game that I most frequently go back to, is Sid Meier's Civilization V, a turn-based strategy game by Firaxis Games that puts the player in control of a mighty empire starting from the Stone Age and allowing players to build and live through their people all the way to the distant future that we ourselves are now facing. I'll be mainly focusing on Lacan and Barbarossa's theories on why this game in particular has a hold on me and keeps me coming back for more. Bostan defines achievement as someone trying to overcome obstacles, to exercise power, to strive to do something difficult as well and as quickly as possible. This is shown by learning effective research strategies and efficient allocation of resources from game to game in order to make the most of the situation at hand. My idea of achievement in each game stems around the goal in mind, as there are multiple ways to come to a victory ending in Civilization V. Each playthrough depends on the empire I'm playing and how I think I can best use their inherent traits to best win. Each empire has differing strategies, and the best choices require knowledge in most cases, practice and experience in order to ascertain what works and what doesn't, and this all changes from time to time when clashing with environmental issues that I as the player cannot control. Lacan's take on the need for achievement, or his idea of desire, by giving the player agency within a strictly determined playing field, computer games sublimate the lack experienced by the subject. In other words, the player is simultaneously empowered and alienated within the virtual world as they are impelled to negotiate a series of obstacles in pursuit of their desire. Lacan's idea of desire as the subject exists under the illusion that they can become whole by attaining their desire. In Civilization V, the state of the game changes throughout its play, and every different playthrough has randomized elements from the map and resource allocation to player starting positions. This affects the theory of desire in that it is an ever-changing goal and something that, even when reached in a finished game, can either have problems or obstacles that the player didn't complete correctly despite victory, which weighs on the idea of a perfect game, or the simple fact that you can start all over again in a new game, and this new game will have differing goals to achieve and have no bearing on the previous game. Bostan's ideas line up with this line of thinking, and argues that it should not be forgotten that motivation to reach a goal is influenced by both personal factors, i.e. needs, motivations and goals, and situational factors, so opportunities, possible incentives provided by the environment. Looking at Lacan's theory of desire through the player himself as the desire, a choice of avatar in which to champion, and in the case of Civilizations V, an empire to rule throughout the game, Rehack argues that the avatar is not simply a means of access to desired outcomes, but an end in itself, a desired and resented lost object existing in endless cycles of renunciation and reclamation. Rehack also suggests that there is no perfectly reflective avatar, that is, one that resembles the player visually and in the fashion of a real mirror, seems to gaze back on him or her. So this suggests that every playthrough, if the player chooses another avatar to represent themselves, then they can see elements of themselves in each empire chosen in Civ 5, but there will never be one that truly represents them. The idea that my chosen empire is my choice, because I see myself in them, isn't ever on my mind. But the idea that the playstyle is determined by their traits, i.e. their strengths and weaknesses, that subtly suggest a direction in which a particular empire must play in, is obvious in the choice. I choose an empire because it matches what I want to accomplish in any one game, and although this choice might change from game to game, it is a constant across the entire game state in a vacuum of each game. In conclusion, I believe that the idea of Lacan's theory of desire and Bostein's theory of achievement intertwined are what makes Civ 5 such an addictive game and why it's so easy to return on a regular basis. The idea that you can never have a perfect game, which is shared by many online and competitive games that invoke the sense of change from game to game, even if the overarching goal stays the same. The cycle of desire is to achieve yet never quite reaching that perfect game, or the idea of the perfect game doesn't actually exist because the limits you put on one playthrough have no significant sway over another playthrough, because your game space has changed enough that even if the main goals that reside in the game exist, that you will perpetually feel the need to do better and better.